today we're going to talk about our foodie experience that really fits into our Bean Stack Challenge this week. And I've chosen a slightly different book for me. It's called One Pot, Pan, and Planet. So a very sustainable, green-oriented, very plant-based cookbook. But I thought, that's the way people are going, and why not have a really good look at it? So it is a very thought-provoking perspective from this author. The book's very well organized, very colorful and interesting diagrams, which you'll see if you sign it out. But anyway, there are, first of all, pot recipes. So that would be stews, curries, and soups. So that's one section. Then there are one pan recipes, which are like a frying pan. So fritters, pancakes, that kind of thing. And I love zucchini and corn fritters. So that was a win for me there. And then the other one that's a big one, and she has the different phrasing, like a lot of people call pan recipes, the ones you do with chicken and vegetables and do it all in one pan. She calls it one tray, and that's all-in-one meals and desserts as well. And the one I would like to try is squash lasagna. So she also has a couple of other features, which I think are great. Quick recipes, which are some very simple recipes. And then she has some more complex ones. What I did find about the book was it took a lot of ingredients. There are a lot of spices and a large variety of vegetables in one dish. So sometimes that's a little troublesome because you don't always have those things on hand. Then there is a section on 10 simple things you can do with tomatoes, 10 simple things you can do with peppers, and another one, which I like particularly, was 10 simple things you can do with greens. So another section, because I'm really keen on making some pesto this year, is a whole section on pickles and pesto. And that, I've was looking at a recipe for walnut pesto. Of course, the one recipe we usually look at is pine nuts. And so I'm willing to try some of these. I think the one downside is the amazing number of ingredients that you need, the number of herbs and spices. But other than that, I think it's worth a try. So I recommend, when I put this back, One Pot, One Pan, The Planet.
For my read this week, I want to talk about a young adult title called The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Gu. Now, to start off, we don't have a physical copy at the library, but we do have electronic copies available on Libby, so that's where I accessed this title. So Clara, which you can see pictured here, she is a notorious prankster at her school. She's super sarcastic, sardonic, and very witty, so I found I laughed a lot during this book. And Clara's dad is an immigrant who owns a food truck that's becoming increasingly successful. Well, Clara, the prankster she pulls off kind of the final straw for her principal and her dad. And as a consequence, she is forced to spend the entire summer working on her dad's food truck called the Cobra, that's K-O-B-R-A, because it's part Korean, part Brazilian food, which is kind of an interesting mix. Now, to add insult to injury for Clara, her frenemy, Rose, is also going to be working on this food truck. So she, Clara, and Rose are going to be forced to spend the entire summer together, even though they don't like each other. Where food really plays into this story is Clara starts to realize a lot more about her culture and about the importance of working hard and showing love and energy and commitment through food, as is being instilled through her father into her. So it's a super great book. It's very funny, like I said, pretty fast paced with just a little smidge of romance. Now it is YA, so nothing too explicit in there this time. So that is my book about food for you guys this week. Again, that's The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Gu. Next week, if you're following along with us, Rose and I are going to be reading books that have something to do with travel. So ideally, these are going to be books that are set in a far off destination, somewhere I'm sure all of us would like to be traveling to now. So stay tuned for that. If you need some recommendations, feel free to reach out to frontdesk@shelburne.library.ca and we'll make sure we get you set up.
We want to thank everyone for participating in another one of our virtual programs. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.